Welcome to the next episode of Surrey Hill Smokers.
And today we're going to be bringing you a West African inspired beef skewers recipe. So grab a drink, sit down and enjoy the video. So today we're going to be bringing you a West African inspired recipe. Now it's suya. That can be a multiple of things. It can be chicken, it can be mutton, it can be fish, it can be anything you want. In this case we're going to be doing beef today because that's what we've chosen to do. Now it is a peanut based recipe, so if you're allergic to peanuts, probably not a good thing to go near this. If you aren't, happy days, and I do apologise. I suppose you could do it without the peanuts, but you would lose an element of that flavour profile. It's quite an interesting spice mix. It's got paprika, it's got the roasted peanuts, it's got garlic, it's got onions, it's got all sorts of great flavours. And I will put down below the full ingredients list with the quantities that you need to make this.
Okay, so the actual spice rub that actually Nick's going to be using, it's actually got 80 grams of roasted peanuts, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of mild chilli, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of cracked black pepper, half a teaspoon of salt, and a quarter of a teaspoon of ground allspice.
You do make quite a lot, but most of it goes into the marinade. Now, here is the beef that's been marinated, and it smells pretty good. So in the bowl we need to add the ginger, garlic and the Maggi seasoning and 2/3 of that spice mix, along with 2 tablespoons of oil. It's got a very unique flavour and exotic taste to it. We don't often think about West Africa as a place for recipes, but I've travelled there with work, luckily enough, and I've tasted some of the most amazing food around these places in the world. So I think it's a good time to bring some of that back to you guys and let you have a chance. So as I say, I've made it all up. It's been marinating in the fridge for probably a couple of hours just to get those flavours really infused in there. So the next step, we'll make those kebabs up. So let's get down to making these kebabs. We need our nice flat skewers. This is great. We've got our ones. Mine are quite sharp, so I have to be careful of the ends. But they're very, very simple to make. It's literally a mixture of pepper and meat, pepper, meat, and so on until you just fill your skewers up. The recipe can be whatever peppers you like. Gavin and I personally much prefer yellow and red peppers. They're just a little bit sweeter, and I prefer them. The green ones I find a little bit bitter. Totally down to personal taste. No right or wrong. So let's get started. So first one we do, we're going to put a piece of red pepper on. And as I say, we're double skewering these just to give them a little bit more substance. Then let's get a piece of meat. Oh, it's already sticky as it is. Get that on. We've cut the pieces of meat down into sort of like 2 centimetre squares, 2.5 centimetre squares, simply just to make them cook easier and make them a bit more manageable. You don't want huge, great big chunks of meat on these skewers. So I'll carry on making these and we'll bring you back once we're done. So there we go, we've managed to get 3 skewers out of that. They're pretty healthy, as you can see. They've got a large amount of good yummy meat and peppers on there. This was actually, the recipe calls for around about 500 grams of sirloin steak. This is slightly over. So let's get Gavin back in and he's going to get these on the grill and cook them. So, over to Gavin, the maestro. We'll let him cook on one of my grills, which we've been kindly given by the guys at Tepro. It's one of their new range. It's the Grill Fast Berkeley. It's kind of an offset smoker. We'll do some close-up shots for you. But Gav, over to you, mate. You can crack on and get these bad boys cooked.
At long last. Now, today we're actually going to be using the applewood charcoal from Big K, and today we're actually going to be doing over direct heat. You know, I usually am sort of like very much the sort of the person who will go for the indirect, but sometimes direct's always good.
Yeah, we need that char and that sort of added flavour of cooking it. And these literally take no more than 5 minutes to cook because the coals are nice and hot, it's direct, and you cut the meat down into a sensible size.
I can already smell those spices warming up now.
Yeah,
actually,
it's
on the
filling
grill.
up, isn't it? It's,
Yeah.
it's really, really rather pleasant smells coming out of the barbecue there. So I can't wait for these to cook and us to have some great lunch.
Exactly.
Oh, butterfly. So Gav, they look like they're done.
Oh,
and they smell pretty amazing.
The spices and the flavours,
you can really
especially
smell it,
that
can't you?
cinnamon really coming off.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
that.
yeah. It's all amazing.
Absolutely
Right, so let's get those off, mate.
Let's get these off.
Oh, they do look good, Gavin.
Oh, they sure do.
Wow, they smell amazing, Gav. And how was it on the new barbecue? Because obviously this is something you've not cooked on. I've done some bits on it, but not a lot. I mean, it just seemed to work really, really well. I mean, they were done in less than 10 minutes.
Honestly, I mean, the heat was consistent, even though, I mean, with the charcoal as well, but
Yeah.
it wasn't burning at all. Even though we were literally over direct heat.
Yeah, there was no flare-ups, or like there was a little bit from when the fat started to render down just at the very end when we took them off, but that's actually given us that lovely char that we were after anyway. So that's a pretty impressive little bit of kit.
And the ceramic coated grills also, nothing sticking.
No, nothing. There's no stickage at all. Everything was lifted up, moving around really, really simple and easily.
Yeah.
That's really good. So we've got them off, and we got that remnants of that seasoning that we made with the marinade. Now, Gavin, you can do the magic with this, because what you do is just adds to the end of the effect of these kebabs.
Exactly. Just take a little bit of that, and then just put this onto there.
And that little bit of peanutty yumminess just adds to that flavour. You've got it marinated into the meat anyway, and it's charred in. Now you've got some fresh on there. It's going to taste divine.
And now, just that little bit of extra.
Oh, just a little bit of acidity.
Squeeze of lime on there
perfect.
for just help cut through that.
My mouth is watering already. That's it. Lovely. And there you go. So guys, we'll put all of the ingredients and the recipe down for this recipe down below. Hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the like button. It helps us out. Also helps you out not miss out on any of our next videos. Also hit that bell notification so you know when we put a new video out. Anyway, from Gavin and I, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.